Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking Games with Kellie and Andrew. I'm Andrew.
And I am Kellie, and I'm recording now in case anyone's curious what's going on with me.
That's not gonna be in the episode. That's just for me and you.
Oh, good.
You know, normally we have
good.
a warm up where we're like, "Oh, you ready to go? Dad, I'm ready to go." Blah 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 blah. Talk for a minute. I just had my mouth open and breath held, waiting to say hello, everyone. Kellie was still talking.
Kellie's in typical Kellie fashion. I was oblivious to what was happening.
It's okay. I'm gonna apologize right at the top of the episode for the inevitable wailing of a cat. There's a lot going on. My house is a little bit of a mid-construction site at the moment. He's stressed out. I don't think it's appropriate to lock him out, so he has the option to come in here. He's not. He's standing in the doorway, shouting at me.
He's nervous.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're making him nervous.
I gave him some food and set him in here, and he was like, okay. And then I stood up a little bit ago, and then I came back, and he was just like, we're not chill anymore. It's over.
Oh, yeah. You went too far, I think. You crossed the line.
I'm deeply sorry. I feel like the audience is the one being punished because I have headphones on, so I can hardly hear it, but I know they can.
I mean, I can barely hear it. All I hear is a little like every couple of minutes.
I'm sure he'll come in here at some point and just start screaming right next to the microphone. And I'm not going to apologize. Enjoy it, is what I'll say.
He's just got a lot of opinions on the current happenings in the video game world.
That's interesting because there's not a lot of those. Oh, he's a big film adaptation fan, actually. He doesn't play games. He watches the adaptations.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for Ven, he is not going to be watching The Legend of Zelda on film because that little tweet, that little rumor that we heard about last week was just that, a rumor. The Illumination Studios chief, Chris Meledandri. Chris San, as we know him. Right. He was like, I don't know where that came from. We're not doing that. Well, at least on the Illumination front, we will not be seeing any Zelda movies anytime soon.
That's my thing, is I'm hoping that somehow there is somebody who misunderstood the truth, which is that there is a Zelda movie in the works, but it's not Illumination. Because there was this last week, right? Yeah, we were bemoaning that this was Illumination to begin with. So I hope that Chris San is not gaslighting us.
Yeah.
Please don't gaslight me, Chris Meledandri. I never thought I'd have to ask him to do that.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? Who knows how these rumors get started, you know? And then they go in these circles. Especially now, I feel on Twitter, with everybody and their grandmother having a blue check, it's just very easy to believe disinformation. There's
rumors of a direct happening this week, and I'm like, y'all are hungry for directs. Like, there's not a direct. Why would there? I mean, I'll be wrong. Now that I've said it, there's going to be one. But, like, there's no reason for a direct. There's a very decent chance that they're holding back for the next console. So why would they have a Nintendo Switch direct this June instead of just waiting till September or October to talk about the Switch 2?
Sure. Yeah. Right. These are all great questions posed by the one and only Andrew.
And Ven.
What if the audience can't even hear him and you're just making all these apologies
for him? They could definitely hear him because I see my waveform bump when he's nearby. He was just in the room. You should boost
it so they can really hear him.
And he's the third co-host. Talking games with Kellie and Ven. Andrew's out this week.
He's really like a guest star. He's growing stronger with Minmo. Remember that?
Minmo!
That's Ven right now. He's growing stronger.
What is it? Growing strong and happy or something?
I think it's just growing. Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. I thought it was growing stronger, but I think growing strong and happy also sounds right.
I can find out. Growing strong and happy. Healthy, sorry. Going strong and healthy.
Oh, we should put that in the thumbnail, but instead of Minmo, it's Ven.
Again, I might. I did that before, and it was really annoying because it's like a poorly done graphic, so it was hard to cut out. Yeah. It's really hard to cut out. And then I'd have to cut out a picture of my cat's face, and that, you know what? I'll just let you guys think about. But I was about to say Venmo, but that's a thing. Venmo, going strong and healthy.
Yeah.
Well, strong might grow. Wait.
I'm not sure the words were supposed to happen in that order.
Dead Cells is a... There's no way to transition out of that. Dead Cells is a popular roguelike indie game from a few years ago. I'm a big fan of this game. I played it back in 2018-19, and I loved it. The trailers for this game and all its DLC have been incredibly beautiful to look at. They've been this beautiful animations, and I'm excited because they are making a full-length series. It is 10 episodes. They're going to be short, just 7 minutes long, so this is going to be a nice hour-long series overall. I feel like a short film is just, it's a short film cutout. But it's made by the same people, the same animators who are behind those Dead Cells trailers. I'm very excited to see this. We are getting it next year, which is cool because I feel like most of these interesting video game adaptations we hear about are like so far off in the future that we can forget about them completely. But this is 2024. This is coming soon, you know?
Yeah, I feel like this is the perfect series for this kind of thing. And especially keeping in mind like what you said about the animation studio behind those really cool trailers being behind it. Very exciting stuff. I'm excited for you because I have never played Dead Cells, but I'm excited for you because I know you did and I know you enjoyed it.
I'm excited. Sorry, I don't got a lot to say. I just think that the trailers are beautiful, so seeing an hour of it's cool.
Yeah, right. Sometimes there's just not a whole lot to say about a news story.
Don't worry, I have a lot to say about the next news story.
Well, hey, you might be shocked and surprised to know that Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a spin-off series based on Knuckles, the echidna. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah. He's red.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you the voice cast for the Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off series Knuckles is very interesting. Recently announced, it's got Christopher Lloyd, Stockard Channing, you know, from Grease. Grease is the word, is the word. Sorry, copyright. Paul Scheer, Rob Hubel, and Carrie Elwes. Carrie Elwes. He's the guy from Princess Bride.
Yeah.
And they are all going to be in the new Knuckles. I guess it's just called Knuckles, which will be on Paramount Plus.
When is this? I thought the show was soon.
I didn't even know about this show, and it's got, you know, Idris Elba in it. He's really got a lot of interesting things in the pipeline right now.
I'm just confused because the second movie is December of next year, so that's like a year and a half. If they're announcing this cast, did they just start filming? And if that's the case, how is it going to be out in less than a year? There's going to be a lot of CG. Unless it's going to come out right in a lead up to the movie, but that also seems cannibalistic of the media. I don't know. But this cast is really odd.
Yeah, it is a little bit strange.
Especially because, like, I feel like these are probably all live action people, but, like, who knows? I would love to see Christopher Lloyd voice Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have a lot. I said I had a lot to say. I don't have a lot to say.
Well,
I'm just. It's just weird to see these big names talked about in relation to Knuckles.
It's a very strange collection of people.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
I know all these people, but I'm just like, what? Why are they in Knuckles? Why is Doc Brown? I was about to say Doc Martin. Doc Martin is a shoe. And I was like, that's not right. Why is Doc from Back to the Future?
I can't believe he's still
kicking?
Well, I was going to say working.
Oh. He's like 94, right?
Yeah, he's pretty. I mean, he was old in Back to the Future.
Yeah. He is he looks a lot older. It's funny seeing this picture of him on this website because I'm like, that's not a recent picture. He looks a lot older now. Oh, he's completely bald now. Wow.
Well, he was bald as Uncle Fester in Addams Family.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at a picture right now. I didn't know that was him.
I wonder if that was a bald cap or if he shaved his head for those movies.
He is a lot.
Much to think about.
He's a lot less old than I realized.
Is it Uncle Fester? Did I say that right?
I don't know. I don't know Adam's family. He's the really pale
Yeah,
bald
yeah,
dude. Okay.
Yeah, Uncle Fester.
Kelly, don't Google. Guess his age. Guess Christopher Lloyd's age.
Is it 94?
No, that's what was my guess, but I was very wrong.
Okay, I'm covering it up. I'm covering up the age.
You get one more guess.
89.
See, you are making guesses that I would assume are right, but he's 84.
Oh, wow.
He's not that old. I think he's just he's looked old since he's just looked old forever.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah. Like I said, since 1985, he's looked old.
Which makes you, like, in a sense, eternally youthful because you never age.
That's true. That's true.
He was
born in 1938.
That was before Mario.
That was before a lot of things.
That was before Back to the Future was before that movie even came out.
I cannot conceptualize time in history in that way. Like, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
What, being alive all the way? Like, this man has been alive so many years. He has seen so many things.
Right. Like, he saw the first moon landing. He saw the advent of the iPhone. Like,
I was going to say, like, World War II, but I guess iPhone.
Oh.
Well, wait, when did World War II was what? The early 40s?
Yeah.
We're not a history show, but I feel like he probably didn't. Yeah, it started in September of 39. I don't think he probably remembers that then.
Yeah, he was like a little baby.
When was World War II ended? Thank you, Google.
It was like
45.
45.
Yeah, so maybe he remembers the ending.
Maybe. That's just, I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, when we get him on the show to interview him about the upcoming television series Knuckles, we'll make sure to ask about World War II.
Yeah.
Clearly a correlation between those things. Also, he's in Kingdom Hearts. Christopher Lloyd's in Kingdom Hearts.
Who does he play? Xemnas?
Xehanort.
Oh,
because
same thing,
what's his
right?
name? What's
kidding.
Spock's name?
Oh,
not Christopher.
Oh.
We are bad podcast.
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy.
Took me a second.
Did you Google faster than me, or did you know?
No, I just knew.
Okay. He died a while ago.
Yes.
This is not news.
Rest in
This
peace.
is not the news story. Leonard Nimoy died, and he was the original voice of Xehanort, as well as the last time he voiced him would have been 3D, Dream Drop Distance, on the 3DS. And then he got replaced by some guy who I don't know the name of, and I'm not going to bother remembering, for Kingdom Hearts 3, who did like kind of an impression, but also this kind of new accenty thing. And then he died right after Kingdom Hearts 3. So in the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, they had to call Christopher Lloyd for some reason. Who?
Oh, he was like the only one they could get on the line? Like, I don't get it.
I just feel like these days it's so, like, the guy who does the Christopher Lee impression, because Christopher Lee was in Kingdom Hearts, the guy who does the impression of him sounds just like him.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me is like, why are you hiring famous people instead of just impersonators after their death, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like several degrees of Xehanort where, like, they just keep changing how he sounds. But I thought Christopher Lloyd was going to die after he got cast in Kingdom Hearts, but I guess he's in Knuckles, so he's probably invincible.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably talk about some video games this week.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I do want. Kelly, last week we saw that Xbox Game Showcase. I would say it was a pretty massive success, especially if you are a Game Pass subscriber. It was definitely an incredibly exciting prospect for you. But after that showcase, Xbox went ahead and talked to their fans and their investors about what they call the bright future. There was a lot of information that they put out, but the key thing that they stated is that they have plans to release 4 major first-party titles per year starting in 2024. I think this is a bold thing to go for. We know that Xbox is much more interested in solo, or at least like smaller scale experiences. Not small scale in like what you can do, but like number of players. Just this year we've had 3. Well, we will have had 3, assuming Starfield hits its September release. That being Hi-Fi Rush, um, Starfield, and then everybody's favorite, Redfall, which obviously bad game, flopped launch, still counts towards the number. But, Xbox did more than PlayStation this year. PlayStation's doing Spider-Man, and that's it.
Very true.
And, Spider-Man's probably going to be very well received, but Hi-Fi Rush was very well received. So, if Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush both are well received, boom, Xbox had more better received games this year. And now, after that PlayStation showcase from May, it's clear that, to me, that PlayStation is putting all of their proverbial eggs in the live service basket.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're going to be seeing any year. Can you imagine now, right now, not in the last 10 years, but right now, PlayStation releasing 4 major first-party titles in a year that aren't live service?
No.
That, even when I look back on 2020, the fact that we got Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us back to back, that I can't imagine that happening again,
No.
I can't see more than one anymore.
I agree. And I think it speaks to the nature of game development these days. It just takes longer. It's a more as we advance with this technology and these engines, it's just, I feel, to me personally, it's just harder to make a game. There's just too many variables that you have to account for now. So when you take these huge games, it's not, it's unusual to release more than 2 in a year. And Xbox saying that they're going to do 4 every year starting in 2024 is really, I don't think that that's necessarily an exciting bit of news. I think when you talk about stuff like that, you are putting an emphasis on quantity when really your emphasis should be on quality, which, I'm not saying that these games won't be quality. I'm just saying that it's very hit or miss. I mean, obviously Redfall was not a good game.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know about Starfield. Hi-Fi Rush was a good game, but it was that's literally the definition of a mixed bag. So it's if they're sitting here saying okay, we're going to make 4 big games starting in 2024. Well, 2024 is next year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're already halfway through this year. So let's just say that already. I don't know. It says to me that they're more concerned about saying that they have all these games versus here's some really good ones. Here's 1 or 2 really good ones, which is, I'm not going to say it's the case for PlayStation, but it is kind of the case for PlayStation because, Last of Us 2 was really good in my opinion. Ghost of Tsushima was really good.
Yeah.
God of War is really good. Their games have a quality to them for the most part that is more consistent than Xbox, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This might change in the next couple of years,
think,
especially since we're talking about this shift to live service for PlayStation, which who even knows what that's going to mean for the next 5 years. But I don't know. It's not I don't know. I'm a believer in quality over quantity. So we'll see, I guess, how this pans out for them.
I think the next 12 months are key for them. I think if Starfield comes out and it's very high quality, and if all of those titles of 2024, which right now, let's see, we have Avowed, Hellblade 2, what else did they have?
I will be shocked if Hellblade 2 comes out next year.
Yeah. Right now, the only things we really know from their first party studios for 2024 is Hellblade 2 and Avowed. Because Fable didn't have a release date, and I'd be surprised if that Clockwork Revolution, that BioShock Infinite looking game, has a 2024 release date. I just think they have a lot riding on the next year. But also, okay, I am an Xbox owner and a Game Pass subscriber. I think that first-party titles are cool and great. But if you don't have a vast slew of them, the next best thing is to provide quality, provide value to what you're paying for. I pay for Game Pass just from watching the 2023 showcase that gives us an idea of what the next essentially year and a half looks like, I am confident in my subscription, you know? I am happy to be subscribed to Game Pass. I'll be playing Persona 5 Tactica soon, Persona 3 Reload next year. I'll be playing, hopefully, Avowed and Hellblade 2 next year. Like a Dragon. Like, the list of games that I was going to play already, as well as a list of games that I'm potentially interested in, but now they're free or included with Game Pass, I'm just so excited by that prospect. And I feel like that's why I'm like, Xbox, hush. You're doing fine, you know? They have a market cornered off, and they are succeeding very much in that corner. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't need to get too ambitious to try to defeat PlayStation. That's not possible, except that your corner of the market is your corner of the market. Yeah.
And I will say, I also subscribe to Game Pass on my PC. It's a great service. You get a ton of value for it. It makes itself worth it, like, instantly.
Yeah.
You can find a game on there that you want to play no matter what.
Yeah.
Can you hear the train?
Yeah, I love your train.
Okay. You've got Van, I've got the train.
They're the same.
I will say, I think it also sort of speaks to the way that you and I play games. You are a lot more willing to branch out and try new things versus me personally, who is very stuck in her comfort zone. So I think it's just one of those things that different people have different, I don't want to say priorities, but different people have different, like, styles. Yeah. So Game Pass probably provides, and you have an Xbox,
yes,
which has more titles on Game Pass than PC.
Yours is $10 a month, right?
Yes.
That's crazy to me because you were going to buy Starfield. You're going to play Starfield.
Yes.
You were fully prepared to pay $70 for that.
Yes.
Meaning, essentially, you can pay $70 to play Starfield or get 7 months of Game Pass and inevitably find something else in that 7 months that you get to play. Or, I mean, Persona 3 Reload will come out within 7 months of Starfield.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The value is, like, if there are enough games on there, which, like, some people have very limited tastes. If that's the case, look at the list, check it out. But if you have any sort of, like, broadness to your tastes, check it out, you know? And they're really doing a lot to reach out to lots of different fan bases. Like, the fact that we're getting so many different wild games. Like, we're getting Starfield, which, you know, first party, but then also Persona 3. Like, those are so vastly different. We're getting multiple Sega RPGs on this machine. Some Atlas, some not, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's also, there's a simplicity to Game Pass that just doesn't exist for PlayStation. The PlayStation has tiers. You have to figure it all out. They don't have a great classics catalog.
It's bad.
So
yeah.
It's just people are more willing to go for Game Pass. And in turn, that leads to more for Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I can count on one hand the number of launch games that PlayStation Plus Extra has had. It had Humanity, Chia, and Stray. And that's it. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah. I think that you're right when you said that the next, like, 12 months are going to really shine a light on this sort of arena.
Yeah, and there's no winning for Xbox because it's not a competition anymore. PlayStation will sell more, you know, consoles because they are just they are the default console for most people, or not maybe most, but more than 50%. But Xbox can definitely put its foot down and be like, I'm not going anywhere. And Game Pass in the next 12 months, yeah. We'll see where that takes us. We'll see what they have planned. I don't care if they release 4 games next year. I think 3 is a better number. That sounds like, oh, that's not that different, but that's very different, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think about, like I said, PlayStation. The thought of them releasing, I don't even know if they're going to release a game next year. Like, all they have are games like Final Fantasy XVI is coming out in a couple days, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth comes out next year, but like that's not theirs. They just paid for it. And it's not on it's not on PlayStation Plus day one. If they started putting those kinds of games on PlayStation Plus day one, I think Xbox might be terrified. Xbox might be calling in the coroner for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up.
Well,
should I talk about Final Fantasy XVI?
Nah. Just kidding.
Ven, can you get in here and talk about Final Fantasy XVI?
Did I get you?
You got me. Ven is upset about it because he's not. Well,
sorry,
he's from Kingdom Hearts, not Final Fantasy. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right,
it's hard for him.
Right.
I've played it. I did not get an early release copy. Don't worry. I don't know why you'd worry. That would actually be pretty exciting, but.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not better than everybody else.
Don't worry. Square Enix does not know who I am. No, they released a demo, which I feel like is kind of an unfair word for what it is. It's basically early access of the first chunk of the game. The demo is just you start the game, it's the very beginning, and it's the first couple hours. So I went ahead and played that, and so I can go ahead and give my Final Fantasy XVI impressions, and that's exciting to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, I just got to mention the visuals. I am playing this game. I'm holding the controller in my hand. I'm looking at my TV, and I'm saying, that's not it. This is fake. There's some smoke and mirrors happening. Like, this can't. This is a pre-rendered trailer. And it's like, no, I'm playing this game. This is in front of me. I cannot believe how good this game looks. I'm not joking. I legitimately keep finding myself thinking, like, oh, it's pre-rendered. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Even if it is pre-rendered, it blends into the real-time stuff so smoothly that you'll never notice, It's not like old PS2 games where it was a clear divide. Now it's just like, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely visually stunning. And to keep on like the presentation standpoint, art style is still there. They didn't just go for realism. There's a clear art style on display, which I think is just so wonderful. As we approach that realism border, start doing interesting things, not realistic things, and that's what this game does, even if it is still very realistic. There's just so much detail to everything that's happening, and it's all deliberate. Animations are just incredibly detailed. There's a scene early on where like the king is like, we're off to war. They're all British. And like there's a bunch of soldiers lined up next to him, and they're like, and their mouths all move completely correct, and their brows furrow and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, those guys don't have names. They might not even have modeled retinas, but their mouths and brows are perfect.
Wow, mouths and brows.
I know I said I was done talking about graphics, but I'm just amazed. This I cannot think about. Okay, 2020, Last of Us Part 2 came out. That was the last time I was looking at graphics, and I was just like, whoa, Because it was just like, that one was just because it was purely like realistic at times. And then Ratchet and Clank on PS5 came close, but that was just because it was like Pixar level quality, and it was just adorable and wonderful. But this is just like, there's something deliberate about everything that's happening that like blows my mind. There's like a scene. This is a little NSFW, just a tiny bit. There's a scene where there's like a boardroom, not a boardroom, a war table. Sorry, I watched Succession. I finished that last week, so I have a lot of it in my brain. There was like a war table, and afterwards, two characters go out into the hallway, and they get a little intimate. They get all excited.
Whoa!
And
I can't watch that.
The small woman jumps onto the giant man, and he's like holding her against a wall. Again, a little not safe for work, but she like runs her fingers along his face in like a romantic way, and I was just like, oh my god, that's real. That's a human being. Like, how did they? Because it's not just fidelity; it's deliberate. It's like the fact that they figured out this perfect animation. It's like, there's only so much you can do in a mocap studio. Like, if they were in those silly little suits with balls all over their body, like I don't know how you would do that performance perfectly. How do you get in character how do you get an intimacy character when you're in those suits?
Yeah. So
I just feel like there's got to be some creative stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, the direction is just top notch. Okay, I'll stop talking about graphics. I'll talk about the actual game now. I'm so excited to learn more about the story. It's very lore heavy at the beginning, which scared me just a little bit, but it's simple enough. Like they're talking about the dominants, which my understanding of those is it's basically like people who are gifted with the right to summon. So people who are like, you have the right to summon Ifrit, you have the right to summon Shiva, and they're people that are like blessed, the royal bloodline in a sense, and it's only one person. And you're called the dominant. There also is a ton of plot going on with like slavery and people who are like lesser than. Our main character Clive gets wrapped up, and that's because you start the game and it's in the future, and he has the mark of the slave on his face. So it's like, oh, what's going on with that? But then it flashes back to when he was 15, and he doesn't have that, and you're kind of like trying to put together what's happening. And it's just really interesting and so cool, and this world is clearly built in a way that is complex, but they present it in a simple fashion. You can also, they don't tell you this, but you can hold the touchpad at any time, and it brings up lore. So if you're a little confused and you're like, what are they talking about? What's the, Valisthea? What is that? And I mean, it's the name of the world you're in, but you could just hold the touchpad and it'll tell you what that means. And it shows pertinent lore. So it's not like just it doesn't just open a book for you to read. It's pertinent information. And I saw this in another game, Like a Dragon Ishin, that I played earlier this year. That game had if they said something that they assumed the audience might not know what that means, you could click the options button, it would tell you. But that was like talking about like ancient Japanese eras. And then when you open the thing, it just described it vaguely. And I was like, I still don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. This feels like an evolution of that. And that game came out on PS3. That was a remake. So maybe they were inspired by that. I just think that's a really interesting feature. And then the gameplay. The gameplay is mostly action. There is a twinge of RPG in the sense that you have access to special attacks with the right trigger, and then normally you're just attacking. You can string together interesting combos. You have square being your attack button, triangle being your magic button, and you can even time perfectly. If you press the magic button right after an attack, you do like a follow-up that's super quick and effective, but getting that timing down is really difficult. Jumping between square and triangle exactly on rhythm essentially is a really challenging thing to pull off. But I'm really excited about the potential of this. This is one of those things that's like I can't say a ton because I'm still in the early hours. But when I get this game on Thursday, I'm just so excited to sink my teeth into it like the Big Mac,
Oh.
I know I've never eaten a Big Mac. I've never eaten one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that was apt. That was an apt.
I mean, it's a burger, so
you can sink your teeth into it.
Yes.
Certainly.
I'm not going to say a ton more because, I encourage you, if you have a PlayStation 5, go check this game out. It utilizes the hardware wonderfully. It is this generation game only. I could not see this working on PS4, which is so exciting to finally have stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just thrilled. Cannot wait to play more.
Yeah, I'm thrilled for you. I will also be playing this, but perhaps at a later date.
You don't want to play the story that takes place in Valisthea right away?
I kind of do, but I just don't have. Well, we'll see.
Guts.
I guess we'll see what next week brings.
I'm also so curious what the reviews are going to be like. I feel like they might be truly insane.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Time of release, they're probably out, so go check them out yourself if you're curious.
Go look. Go read them. Go read them. Go look at them. Go look right now. Go look, but keep listening, but go look.
Okay. I mean, I can't, but.
Well.
I finished another game, Kelly.
What?
Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
What?
I finished it. I guess I didn't tell you that.
No, you didn't.
I
figured when I saw it on the sheet, but I wanted to let you come to this journey on your own, I didn't want you to tell me beforehand. So.
Well, I'll talk briefly because we've talked about it plenty, but 95 hours and I'm done. I did every shrine. I did every light route. I did every side adventure. I didn't do every side quest. I did the ones that I was particularly interested in, but I did do all the side adventures. And obviously all of the main quests. Fun fact, I completely missed a main quest. There's a sky island that's like obstructed by a thunderstorm. And if you go in it, you can't see anything. You will literally, there's no way to see anything. Like you can't use the bright bloom seeds. You can't use flashlight, nothing. You're just in the purely obstructed view. I went there pretty early and found the main quest item. that
Oh.
was not what the game wanted me to do. But then, later they were like, oh, go do this thing. I'm like, I already found it. So I went and did the quest. And then I was trying to find all the shrines, and I figured, oh, they're probably like in this area. So I go to like where there's thunderstorms, and I'm like, I can't see. How do I do this? So I Googled it, which I did I did 3 times total in my 95 hours. I Googled 3 things. And it was like, oh, yeah, when you finish the main quest, this is how you get here. And I was like, what main quest? And then I realized I just completely subverted a full-on main quest. And that was hilarious. Like, it has cutscenes and everything. And I'm like, what? I'm a doofus.
No.
But I really enjoyed this game. Obviously, I thought it was brilliant. The mechanics that they had on show here were just something else. The ending was pretty darn good. I still kind of wish there was more story. Like, the story that was here was so good that I was like, I just want more. Just tell me more about this world. But I'll take what I got. The climax was incredible. I'm excited to hear Kellie's impressions when she gets there in 30 years because it's 95 hours long. My only real complaint about this game, and this is telling, is that there's a lot of shrines that are called Raru's Blessings, which means it's hard to find the shrine. And then once you find it, they just give you the light orb. There's no puzzle inside. And in Breath of the Wild, those were pretty sparing. So it's exciting when you saw them. It's like, oh, I earned this. This game, a third of the shrines are those, which means like 50 of the shrines are Raru's Blessings. So I found myself, especially in a late game, walking into a shrine, and when it was a Raru's Blessing, I was just like, ugh. But the reason I'm saying is the game is so good that I want more. Like, I'm like, more puzzles, more puzzles.
Yeah.
So it's not like a fault of the game so much as like I want more.
Right.
And it makes sense because most of the last shrines I had were like hard to find, which meant the vast majority of my last shrines were Raru's Blessings. But highly recommend it. They kind of streamline it so it's a lot easier to get all the shrines. I never did in Breath of the Wild, despite my like 75 hours, because it was like the last 10. I was just like, I don't know where they are. I don't know how to get there. Whereas this game, there is a certain thing linking the underground and the shrines in a way that you're like, oh, and you can find the shrines much more simply. And then you also have the Hero's Path mode in the base game. It's not DLC, so you can, view where you've been. So for the Sky Islands, I was like, oh, I haven't even been to this island. So obviously there's going to be a shrine there. So everything's just kind of streamlined. And I think the biggest tell of positivity, it doesn't feel like I spent 95 hours on this game at all. That's crazy to me. It's that time just dissolved away. So love it. So good. Great game. Don't know if I like it more than Breath of the Wild, but that's because Breath of the Wild is very important to me, not because it's a worse. This is a better game than Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild still means more to me, I think.
Yeah, that's understandable. I'm excited to finish it in 95 years.
1 hour per year.
Yeah.
Well, you could be normal and finish it in like 50. I'm the freak who's like, every shrine.
No, I mean, I get it. I also feel, I agree with you. I feel like the shrines are a little bit easier to find. And I feel more motivated to find them all. But that's just me, That's just me being me.
I think finding the shrines easier is okay as long as it's still rewarding. And it was that.
Yeah, I agree. I would say the same.
What'd you play?
Well, folks.
What'd you play, Kellie?
I'll tell you.
What'd you play? Kellie.
I'll
stop.
I was about to say, folks, I've still been playing Diablo 4. I have encountered my first roadblock. I'm really struggling on this one boss. But it's fine, I'm having fun still. I'm just like bash my head against the wall, but it's fun. It's just, here's the deal, is I felt like everything up to this point had been not easy, but like relatively not difficult.
Yeah.
For me. Like I felt like it was scaled for me. This boss has just felt like a huge jump in difficulty, and I am alone. I don't have anybody with me.
I'm right here.
I know, that sounded very sad. I mean, I don't have anybody who plays Diablo 4 with me.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. So it's just a little bit, I just feel like I'm a little bit like am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Like, it feels a bit like I am out of my depth a little bit here. But that's okay because I still feel like I can do it. I just need to like really focus and pay attention and get my stuff together, because I feel like I've just been sort of mindlessly button mashing for a while. And I'm wondering if maybe I just need to like retrain my brain for this boss fight to just think a little bit harder, which is hard for me because I actually don't have a brain.
Oh, I didn't know that. Where'd it go?
Yeah. We don't really know, actually.
Interesting. Are you okay?
No.
Oh. Okay. I might be joining you in Diabloing soon. I got a copy from my library, but I'm, kind of busy with Final Fantasy XVI and stuff, so I'll try to get to it ASAP, but,
Well, don't stress yourself out, because I might also be playing Final Fantasy XVI in the next week, so.
Kelly, do you want to hear a funny story of something that just happened? We were recording and just happened to me.
Yeah, what happened?
I leaned back in my chair like I do sometimes, that you could tell because I'm probably quieter now, and I started swooshing my foot. It's not going to do it anymore. Oh, no.
You're swooshing?
No,
swooshing.
hang on. No! Okay, my chair made a sound. It made a squeak that I've never heard before.
Oh.
I can't get it to happen. It sounded like a child laughing. My heart sank so fast.
That's very scary.
It was really spooky. So
I don't like that energy that you've invited into the recording now.
If you very briefly heard the sound of a child laughing in the background earlier.
I'm not sure that anybody but you heard that, because I think it's a ghost that lives in your apartment.
I was like, what am I hearing? And then I muted my microphone and moved to headphone immediately, and then I kept moving my leg and I heard it again. I'm going to try again. Keep talking. Distract the audience.
Okay. Andrew's trying again.
No, you don't describe what I'm doing.
Oh, sorry. Whoa, you guys come here often? Me personally, I come here every week.
Do you hear that?
That sounds like a clown horn.
Yeah. Okay, I guess when you were talking as it was happening and it was unexpected, it didn't sound like a child laughing in retrospect. It was very scary, Kelly. Are you also scared of children laughing?
I'm scared of children laughing. I'm scared of clowns.
It's a loose.
So we're really, the whole gamut. We're going through the whole gamut right now.
Well, I'm excited to play more Final Fantasy XVI. Probably not Diablo 4. I'm not going to promise that one. Maybe even some Katamari.
Wow.
I really shouldn't promise that. I'm also thinking of starting... I shouldn't promise this. I'm thinking about starting Stardew.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute.
What?
Wait.
What?
You've never played Stardew before?
Nope.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Well, now I was I don't want to... I was going to start it this summer, but then I was like, I should wait for after Tears of the Kingdom because it's on Switch. So I'm like...
Right.
I don't want to be playing Tears of the Kingdom. I don't want to be playing anything else on my Switch. Right. But the only other game I foresee myself playing on Switch this summer is Pikmin 4 in July. But that'll probably be like a week,
Yeah.
So I think I'll dive into that soon.
Oh, I think you'll have a great time. I think you'll have such fun.
I am excited.
Whenever that happens.
We are on episode 96 right now, which means audience next week is 97.
Woo!
And you know what that means, audience? The week after that is 98.
I think our audience knows how to count.
So, audience, I'm just giving you a little hint. I'm not going to give you the whole dinner plate. I'll give you an appetizer.
Oh.
And by an appetizer, I mean I'll walk by with somebody else's food and you get a whiff. But it's going to be 3 weeks before you get to taste the food I'm describing. I don't like this metaphor anymore. Can I stop?
It's really gotten away from you, I think.
We are going to do 3 episodes that will be special for our 100th episode extravaganza. So our 98th, 99th, and 100th episode will all be unique episodes. They will not just be the normal report on news, talk about our games. it will be a different format for those 3 episodes, and I just want to give you a little hint of what's to come so that you can start getting excited now.
Woo!
That's all. I don't really have. That's all I have. What?
Oh, I was gonna say, are you gonna give the hint, or are you just?
No, that is the hint. Is that we're doing something special?
Oh, the hint. Okay.
Well, we could have just done normal episodes and then been like, "Oh, it's episode 100." Woo!
Yeah. That's a. I mean, that.
Huh?
Thank you guys so much for listening this week. We are so excited to return next week with our very special, well, not next week, but the week after.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, the week after with our very special surprise, shock, and awe.
No, don't say that.
Your jaw's gonna drop.
No.
Your eyes are gonna fly out of your head. Thanks for listening. Bye.